left fair havens beneath an ordinary sky. The sea looked peaceful. The wind seemed favorable. A Roman centurion led his prisoners aboard experienced sailors. Prepared the ship, merchants secured their cargo. The captain trusted his knowledge of the sea. No one imagined they were sailing toward one of history's greatest storms. Among the prisoners was a man named Paul, not a sailor, not a captain, but a servant of God.
Before they departed, Paul spoke with quiet conviction.
Men, I believe this voyage will end in disaster. The cargo will be lost. The ship will be destroyed, and our lives will be placed in great danger. But the centurion trusted the captain. The captain trusted experience. And because the wind seemed favorable, they sailed anyway. At first, everything seemed normal. Then the wind shifted. Dark clouds gathered across the horizon. The sea began to rise. A violent northeastern wind burst across the water. Its name, Eurakylon. Within moments, the ship was helpless. The sails could no longer guide it. The crew could no longer control it. The storm took command.
Became night.
Night became another day.
No sun, no stars.
No way to know where they were.
Only endless waves.
And relentless wind. The sailors wrapped ropes beneath the hull to keep it from breaking apart. They threw precious cargo into the sea. Then they threw over the ship's equipment. Anything to stay alive one more day. After many days without sunlight, hope itself began to disappear.
Then Paul stood.
Not as a prisoner, but as a leader, he said, "You should have listened before we left port, but listen now. Take courage. Not one life among you will be lost. Only the ship." Last night, an angel of the God whom I serve stood beside me. He told me not to be afraid. We will survive. We must run aground on an island. The wind still howled. The waves still crashed.
But something changed.
Hope returned,
Not because the storm had ended.
but because God had spoken.
40 nights passed, 40 nights drifted across the Adriatic Sea. 40 nights without control.
The men stopped eating.
Exhaustion filled every face.
Then Paul gathered everyone together. He took bread into his hands before soldiers, sailors, prisoners, and officers. He thanked God. Then he broke the bread and ate. His confidence became their courage. And the men found strength once again. Near midnight, the sailors heard something different. The sound of waves against unseen land. They dropped sounding lines. The water was growing shallow. Land was near. The anchors were lowered. Some sailors secretly tried to escape in the lifeboat. Paul warned the centurion, "If those men leave the ship, none of us can survive." The soldiers cut the ropes. The lifeboat drifted away. Now everyone would face the storm together. At daylight, they saw a bay with a sandy beach. The captain gave the order,
Cut the anchors.
"Raise what sail remained."
Run the ship ashore.
The vessel struck a sandbar. The bow lodged fast. The stern shattered beneath the pounding surf. Some soldiers wanted to kill the prisoners, so no one could escape. But the centurion spared every life because he wanted to save Paul. Those who could swim, swam. The rest clung to broken boards and shattered pieces of the ship. One by one, all 276 people reached shore safely. Exactly as God had promised.
The cargo was gone, the ship was gone, their plans were gone.
But God's promise remained. Sometimes He calms the storm, sometimes He carries us through it. But He is always faithful. And when we trust Him, even broken pieces can become the means of our rescue. I survived Eurakylon. I had sailed before. The sea was dangerous, but familiar. Storms came and went. Ships creaked. Sails tore. But nothing prepared me for the voyage that carried us from Crete. Among the prisoners was a man named Paul. He didn't look like a sailor. He wasn't dressed like a captain. Yet when he spoke, everyone should have listened.
He warned us.
He said this voyage would bring disaster.
The cargo,
the ship, even our lives would be in danger. But the captain knew the sea, the pilot had years of experience, and the wind seemed perfect. So we sailed. I remember thinking,
we'll be fine.
I had never been more wrong.
It began with a change in the wind, nothing alarming. Then the sky turned black, the waves rose higher than I'd ever seen. The wind screamed through the rigging, they called it Eurakylon. From that moment, we were no longer steering the ship. The storm was steering us, every command was swallowed by the wind. Every wave felt like it might be our last.
The crew worked without stopping. We wrapped ropes beneath the ship to hold her together. We threw cargo overboard later. We threw away our own equipment. Imagine that. Everything we once thought valuable.
Floating away into the sea, just for one more chance to live. Days passed, then more days. There was no sun, no stars, no way to know where we were. Only darkness, only wind, only fear. I stopped wondering if we would die and began wondering when.
Then Paul stood, not as a prisoner, as the calmest man on the ship. He told us an angel of God had stood beside him. He said every one of us would survive, the ship would be lost, but not a single life. I wanted to believe him, part of me couldn't. But another part clung to those words harder than I clung to the rails.
14 nights, I still remember every one of them. Sleep came only in moments Every crashing wave sounded like the one that would finally tear us apart. We hadn't eaten, we were exhausted. Then Paul did something I'll never forget. He took bread right there in the middle of the storm.
He thanked God. He actually thanked him. The sea was still raging.
The wind was still screaming, yet Paul gave thanks before anything had changed. Something happened inside me that day. Hope returned, not because the storm ended, but because I saw a man whose faith was stronger than the wind.
Near dawn, we heard waves breaking nearby land. After 2 weeks, land. The captain aimed the ship toward a beach. For one brief moment, I thought we might actually make it. Then the ship slammed into a sandbar. The bow stuck fast, the stern exploded beneath the pounding surf. Wood splintered all around us. The sea rushed in. The ship that had carried us across the Mediterranean was coming apart beneath our feet. Someone shouted,
Overboard!
I couldn't think. I just jumped. The water was freezing. The waves tossed me like driftwood. I grabbed a broken plank from the shattered ship. That piece of wood, the remains of everything we had lost, became the thing that kept me alive. Wave after wave carried me closer to shore. At last, my feet touched sand. I crawled onto the beach, gasping for breath. Then I looked around. One man, then another, then another. Soldiers, prisoners, sailors, every single one of us alive. Just as Paul had said, I lost my possessions. The ship was gone forever, but I witnessed something far greater than survival. I learned that God's promises are stronger than the fiercest storm, and sometimes the broken pieces of yesterday become the very thing God uses to carry us safely home.
They left port beneath an ordinary sky. Nothing about the morning suggested disaster. A prisoner boarded with soldiers, sailors prepared for another voyage before winter closed the sea. Merchants counted cargo. Captains trusted experience. But the sea has never cared about human confidence. Before they sailed, a man named Paul spoke up. Not as a sailor, not as a captain, but as someone who understood storms most men never see coming. Paul, men, this voyage will bring damage, not only to the cargo and the ship, but danger to our lives. But the officers trusted the pilot, the crew trusted the weather, and experience spoke louder than warning, so they sailed anyway. At first, it was only wind shifting direction. Nothing unusual. Then the sky darkened, the sea turned violent, and the storm arrived with a force no man on board could control. Sailor! her steady. Hold the heading. But before long, the ship was no longer crossing the storm. The storm was carrying them. Day after day they drifted. No stars, no sun, no sense of direction. Only black water and fear. Sailor, we're not sailing anymore. We're surviving. The crew began throwing cargo into the sea. Then equipment. Then anything they thought might buy another hour of life. But the storm only grew louder, and hope disappeared faster than the daylight. Then, in the middle of panic, one voice stayed calm. A prisoner stood while seasoned sailors were losing courage. You should have listened before we left port. But listen to me now. Do not give up hope. No one here will die. An angel stood beside me this night and told me, the ship will be lost, but every life will be spared. The wind did not stop. The waves did not calm. But something changed inside the men for the first time in days. They listened. 14 nights passed in darkness. 14 nights of drifting. 14 nights without control, without certainty, without rest. Men stopped eating, stopped talking, stopped believing rescue even existed. The storm seemed endless. Then Paul called the men together, not like a prisoner, like a leader. He took bread in shaking hands and thanked God in front of all of them. Then he ate. Sailor, he's still thanking God. Near midnight on the 14th night, the sailor sensed something different. The waves sounded different. The water grew shallow somewhere ahead. There was land. I think we're close. I think that's land. Then it happened. The ship struck ground. Timbers split apart. The hull broke under the pressure of the sea. Water rushed in from every side. Some soldiers wanted the prisoners killed to stop escape. But mercy spoke louder than fear. Captain, everyone overboard! Swim if you can! Grab anything that floats! Some swam through the waves. Others held onto broken boards. Broken pieces of a shattered ship became the very thing that carried them to safety. And one by one, every single man reached shore alive. Exactly as Paul said. The ship was gone. The cargo was gone. Their plans were gone. But not one life was lost, because sometimes storms do not leave you with what you wanted. Sometimes they leave you with what truly mattered all along.